It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? No, I'm not getting pulled over. That's an AMR. Good to talk to everybody. I am, of course, started this morning off on Zooms and now on my way over so that my sound quality is better over to the church's studio. There's a lot going on. Speaking of AMR, the ambulance, I'm getting complaints from police officers and from constituents. AMR is the ambulance service that serves the city of Buffalo. It is a contract that we have that is coming up due actually for review and for either renewal or not, or extension at the end of March. Now, this is what I'm being told about AMR. I'm being told I don't have the facts. I've requested the facts, is that they are starting to have elongated times of response again. I've gotten complaints of anything from half an hour to 45 minutes for very serious incidents. In one incident, as I was told by police officers, is that there was a obvious mental health case occurring, and that response, and I'm only relaying what is told. I have now requested the facts. But I was told that, as we've seen in the past, where there are mental health issues, that police did all protocols that are now required, contacting mental health specialists, but contacting AMR. Now, this is what people have to understand when they say we don't want police involved in any mental health crisis situation, is that there are some crisis situations that are so dire and dangerous that a social worker, a counselor, should not be on that scene alone. Now, you could say, ideally, that you never want police to show up to a call. However, if I were going to a call, as a mental health specialist, as a pastor, and I have been called in before for certain situations in which the person who was breaking down asked for a specific person. And at times, depending on the situation, police will reach out if they feel that that person may be a calming influence. I don't want to show up to a situation in which a person is a danger to themselves and a danger to me by myself. And so those out there who are saying, we never want police to show up. Well, there are certain people who do want police to show up for the safety of the person and themselves when that person is really having a violent breakdown. So recently I was told by police that a person was having such an episode and that they called AMR, which is the ambulance response, and the police stood down, which basically is they surrounded the person to keep them from harming themselves, but at a distance, and waited and continued to call AMR, and 40 minutes later, almost is what I'm being told, AMR showed up. Now, that's something that I was told, but I have personally experienced before COVID, a woman who was having a situation. I saw her sitting on the steps of my home. I left, came back, didn't really know what was going on. Sometimes people just sit there on the corner. If they're not bothering anybody, most times I just leave them be. But when I came back, I did approach her, and I recognized something was not correct. called police for her own safety because she wasn't walking. She said she couldn't walk anymore. Um, I did identify that from her that she was on different types of medications. The police officers showed up. They were, I'm going to say this because I know we can find what's wrong with police, but I like to, when somebody does something right, talk about what's right. They showed up. They were very, very kind to the woman. She was an elderly woman. She was verbally active, and they called AMR for her. AMR, and I was there, so this is not something I heard. I was there. The dispatch from 911 relayed back, or wherever, police directly call, relayed back that they were told there were no ambulance available. There was another patrol car that showed up, just not to restrain the woman, just talking, like they were all together. And 4 officers told me that there has been a huge delay in response times, and they're doing this every day. So once I got it again, because I hadn't heard anything for a little while, once I got it again, and I'm told, hey, we're going through this, and it has been like this. So what I'm asking, the reason that I'm bringing it up here, is we have put in a resolution to ask for response times. Now, the council gets a report from AMI, but it doesn't deal with specifics. It only summarizes and gives us percentages that, we're answering calls this percentage of the time we get here. Well, it's the percentages that you don't when there is a situation that's life and death that I'm concerned about. So a summary, for me, does not tell the story. So I've requested the last year's data from AMR so that we can know exactly what's going on. Not a summary, not a percentages, exactly what's going on. But you, the public, and I'm gonna start moving inside now. I didn't want to break up my flow, but you, the public, are our best information, some of our best information. And so when you give us information, we are able to relay that, and when you share it. So I don't know if anybody in, as they used to call it, Radio Land, has had either a positive experience or a negative experience when it comes to our ambulance company. And I'd really like, let me see if I can get my key. Oh, here comes Mark. Yep, see, I'm for real. I'll tell you the truth. I'm getting ready to switch. All right.
It would be great. Hey, Janique. Yeah, I'm bumming today. I'm bumming and slumming today. So it would be wonderful to hear from some people. I think I'm going to keep on my hat today.
I like the fitted look.
You like the fitted look? Well,
Yeah.
I didn't shave.
Or is it a snapback?
No, it's a snapback.
Oh, okay.
It's a snapback. I got some fitteds, but, my head, I got that COVID head now. Like the COVID body, And so everything is expanding. But so I'm just wondering if anybody out there, you could call our office, let us know if you have been or know of somebody who has experienced delayed ambulance times. Now, it could turn out that this is only a few people, it's only a few incidents, but like I said, if one incident is too many, and so we want to make sure that this company, especially before I sign off on renewing their contract, that they are serving our community as they should. One of the council members brought up that he was aware that some of the cars don't have GPS. So now, and we're going to find out, if you don't, allegedly, if you don't have GPS and you don't know, I'm going to tell you this, I don't know every street in the city of Buffalo. There's some little tucked away streets that when you say it, I'm like, I was going over Tracy Schultz's house. I've been told all my business, but anyway, been over Tracy's house a million times. I always have to figure out how to get into her little nook. Oh my gosh, this is my grandson for real. I'm not kidding you. I was about to say, somebody get me some coffee, please.
We was on it. I heard that.
You can hear that in my voice.
And I told Ray, go and prepare it.
I'm not kidding you. What a blessing. Thank you for that. Like, it's just the little stuff. This is a good kid. I mean, he's working at UB, but if anybody else out there has an even better job for him, he's 20-something years old. He doesn't get fired from jobs. He got laid off. I'm telling all your business. Laid off from the airport. Still picked up a part-time job at the airport at UB. He doesn't mind cleaning, working, lifting. He's smart and he's reliable with no record. Yep. So if you need a great worker, I just want you to pay him his worth. I promise Granddad won't get involved. I'm not one of those grandfathers that be like, why did you discipline my grandson? Nope.
But his grandfather is the greatest negotiator.
Who? Me?
You.
Yeah, I
can
negotiate.
Contract negotiator.
I can negotiate a contract now. Janique would be proud. So, but thank you for the coffee. That means a lot. And so I just want to make sure, because we've had problems in the past, and when you talk about life and death, it is so important that our ambulance company is on it. So welcome also to our Facebook audience, Veronica Gold. Veronica, you're starting to be a regular member on here. Jeanette Parker, Terry Wiley. I'm his boss now. Oh, Terry's your boss right now? Well, Terry, I want to thank you for giving him the job. I just wanted to get something that, and I know y'all got benefits and stuff. I want to make sure. Ross wants to come and talk about apprenticeship. Yeah, absolutely, Ross, when you're ready. I got Janique here today, but I want to hear about that. Also, we got to talk about these drugs on the street, man, these pills. We got to talk about it, and I'm ready to talk about it because people are dying at an unprecedented rate, and I want to share with you what I saw yesterday on a report about some of the pills that are now being laced with fentanyl, and they're producing it to look like it's coming from coming directly from the factory. So usually, where we talk to people about not using, I really want to talk to people who are out there selling them. I want to talk to folks. Don't hang up now. Don't turn off the radio. Because this is important, because you could go to jail. You could go to jail for a long time for having a product that you don't even know is fake and killing someone. There's somebody just was sentenced for selling a small amount of fentanyl, something that was laced, and the person died. And you can you can mess up your life for getting a pill from your aunt who got it from somebody that she know, and now even if you give it to somebody, you're going to be charged with it. Folks, we got to have this real discussion. Kirk Franklin told his son he was going to, I can't say all the words, do something to his skinny, do something, and
call me afterwards. I'll tell you what he said.
I saw it. I saw it. Oh, believe me. Big controversy. I don't think it's controversial at all.
Not at all.
I'm going to give my opinion, but I do not think it's controversial that a father said to his son, whatever is going on. Now, I do think,
grown son.
His grown son. And then I saw the interview of his, Kirk, the grown son's mother. I didn't watch the whole thing, but there's an interview on YouTube with her friend talking about it. But oddly enough, not oddly, I thought, and some people thought, that she was protecting her son. I think a mother naturally protects their son. I mean, come on. But at the end of the day, she did kind of say he shouldn't have done what he did and made it public. And that's what, this is what I feel. Someone to make it public, that's you're grown. Make it public all you want. But I'm still going to tell you what I feel, even when you make it public. And that's just how it is. You can record it. You can video record it. You can do it. I have grown children. Matter of fact, I'm teaching a class with our denomination, our fellowship, On what is it? Parenting grown children, or
how to deal with adult children.
And I have adult children, and there are things that I want to say, and I do. There are things that I don't, because they're grown, and I feel like people have to make, at times, their own mistakes. But I think that as a parent, you just naturally, sometimes you say stuff, and I'm going to tell you this. Kirk did right in apologizing for his language.
Man, listen.
What?
I wouldn't apologize for my language at all. If you think it was a private conversation, I'm going to express myself like if I was having a private conversation. Now, like you said, it was exposed publicly, this, that, and the other. But I'm not going to be one way in my house and one way in public. That's why I was like, he shouldn't have to apologize.
Do you think he should apologize for the language?
No.
I think he apologized for his brand, to protect his brand.
To protect his brand. I mean, because that's not what people are looking for.
Right.
Him.
Right.
It was more about that. But the conversation, that's a conversation I think we've all
had. Carolyn Lane says on Facebook, I just saw another tape the Sun put out. It's the beginning of the tape. Carolyn Lane said the same thing I just said. He apologized because he's in the industry. I'm going to tell you this. There is no brand. I don't know. Maybe because now what you trying to adjust their mic?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just trying to get that mic closer to you. Hey, the brand is making them money, so I got it. So I think it's protecting his brand, so it protects his money, so it protects him, and sponsors don't start dropping him because that's the way he eats. And so you got to do what you got to do. I think, I don't know, I don't have a brand. I'm public because of my jobs.
Right.
But if Markeith and Craig or, Damien, any of them want to share what I've told them, go ahead. But let me tell you this.
We're going to have a conversation.
It'll probably be your last share. And I can shut down for a year, 2 years if I want to. I'm not saying it's right. But I think he did what he had to do to keep eating the way he wants to eat and pay his taxes and move on, because
it's not just him. It's a brand, and there's a lot of other people who depend on that as well.
Absolutely, because when any successful person knows that your success is dependent on providing a service or doing something for other people. And this is my favorite thing. I say it all the time when I ask students when I go to a school, when school was there, it's been so long. They'll bring me in and I say, who wants to work for themselves? Everybody, almost everybody puts their hand up, right? And I go, well, what do you want to do? Well, I want to be a lawyer. I want to work for myself. Well, that means you're not going to have any clients. I want to be, I'm going to be a bricklayer. Oh, so you're just going to lay your own brick? We all, in some way, are attached to somebody else to eat, period. And so at the end of the day, I think he did, because I think if he were a construction worker and his son recording, first of all, it wouldn't have went viral.
No.
Second of all, that construction worker, even if he was saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, on the deacon board, trustee board, missionary board, and the usher board, I don't think he'd be talking about, I'm sorry. Now, do we apologize to our maker if we feel that we have disappointed our maker? Yeah, I would. But am I going on national TV? Maybe if I needed to save my brand, I would too. So I don't blame Kurt for apologizing. If his son, this is where I'm at. If that's what you want to do, you do what you want to do. I at this point don't believe any conversation is private.
Oh, of course.
I think that I always talk to people as if, and especially now like Zoom and all that kind of stuff, I assume you're recording me.
You don't know who's snapping pictures.
You don't know who's
screen.
snapping pictures. You don't know whose phone is on. So I try to always be conscious. I'm not going to say I'm always conscious of it, but I try to always be conscious of it. But I think that nobody expects it from your child, but we don't know the dynamics of it. And so for me, who I really try my best not to judge anybody's situation, And so for me, I say, I'm praying for them both, and that's it. I'm praying for the son because I don't know the situation. You know, he has his opinion. I'm praying for the entire family. And then my nose comes out of it.
Yeah.
Because I think that, I don't know, and maybe it's age or maybe it's stages in life. Like everybody else's drama is just not my drama. And people who stay in it, I think it's because they don't have their own stuff to do.
Exactly.
You know, if it's still the conversation next week, like, come on. I mean, really.
Well, and I think that's why it's a dead issue. People are just keeping it alive for the jokes.
Yeah.
And the memes and everything else.
Yeah.
But to go back to your point, few things. One, in Kirk's apology, he said it's a toxic relationship. And he said the one part of the conversation that wasn't aired, of course, is when they had the family therapist come on and try to work through whatever the situation is. Now, on the apology piece, if he was more apologizing, almost like you said, in that repentive way, like, you know, this is not the Christian example I wanted to I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But not like I need to apologize because of how I was talking to my son. That's the part where I'm like, I don't agree with.
I'll tell you this: what I do commend them for as a family is for seeking therapy,
Absolutely,
and for being very public about that. You know, I've shared on this show about, especially my winter sometime depression, of, you know, not enough sun, of everybody's been in for a year. It has been a tough year. And even on people who have brands, it's been tough because they haven't been able to operate in the same way. And they probably have a lot more pressure. But at the end of the day, I'm like done with it. It's their family. I ain't saying Kurt wrong. I ain't saying he wrong. I'm saying I'm praying for them all. You know, that's it. And because, folks, you got to be careful because you can reap what you sow. And Marquis didn't recorded me. He recorded me last night telling them all. My grandbaby was over last night teaching me how to TikTok. Mariah TikToks. It's on Marquis' phone. She don't have her own.
Yeah, I saw that.
But I didn't know. So granddad, and went in the room and came out like 5 minutes later and had a whole video. Now, I will say this. She can dance. Now, I told her, Daddy, y'all better put her in a dance school because she got rhythm. I don't have no rhythm. She told me to dance. I did a little bit, and she busted out laughing. Like, oh, stop it, granddad. Don't do that no more, Papa. Please don't do that no more. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk, not TikTok, but.
I was going to say, we talk about TikTok?
Today's paper, and let me see what Janique is here. Janique, what you got going on?
So I am here to talk about Enroll Buffalo charters. We are having a charter school fair tomorrow, and we are calling out for all Buffalo families who are interested and want to explore all of their K through 12 options to come on. It's a Zoom. It's going to be virtual, and we have created a website for parents and families to go to apply to all 18 participating
Right, you don't have
schools.
to run around now and
No.
go from one to the other to the
Right,
other.
they could apply it all at one time. So tomorrow is an opportunity for those who have already applied and for those who want to apply to come in and talk to the schools directly. Each school will have a booth, and they'll be able to talk to the school leaders, and some of the schools are having
They'll have a
students
booth on Zoom?
on Zoom.
Okay, so tell us how this works.
So
you call
it's-
into Zoom.
You call
and what
into
happens?
Zoom, and it's not Zoom, actually. It's another app called Hoover.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, but
Do you have to
it's-
download Hoover?
You do,
Oh,
but it's
God.
very, but it's
wow.
very
Hurting
simple.
us here.
It's very simple because what you do when you download Hoover is that you're able to print off later on all the brochures, all the ads, all the things that the schools have for you, all the materials and information. And most of the schools have also have a giveaway, and they are going to be giving away things to people. Well,
Like some money?
Well, not
I'm
money.
getting on all 18
One of them.
schools,
One of
and I ain't
them.
even trying to. I'm trying to register my I don't know, alias kid or something. You get stuff?
No, one of the schools is giving away a signed Buffalo Bills jersey.
Oh.
And one of the schools is
Like of a good player?
I don't
Because
know.
I got a shoe of a Buffalo Bill that I didn't even know who it was. They're going to give me one shoe.
One shoe.
One shoe. Signed one shoe. My son was like, oh.
That's because you're supposed to put it in a case. And
It's in a case, all right. In case I lose a shoe, I'm going to wear that one. Go ahead.
But they, one of the schools is for the first 20 visitors in their room, they're giving away Tim Hortons gift cards for all those coffee drinkers out there.
Yeah.
And
Monica's one.
Yeah, so all of the schools are giving away different things, just to, have folks come in. But the interesting thing and the best thing I think about this site, the website enrollbuffalocharters.org, is that you're able to look on the site and get information from the New York State Education Department. You're able to get the facts on what these schools and how they're performing, which is so important when you're making a decision. We're in a time when, Buffalo schools literally just opened back up, and now we're going through this thing with, the ransomware. And some of the kids who were supposed to go back have not been able to go back this week. But for the most part, until we were in the orange zone, most of the charters were in school. Which again, people say, well, what's the difference between charter schools? I want to say charter schools are public schools.
They are public schools.
They are public schools, and they are public school students.
Paid with public money.
That's right. They absolutely are. And so I want to make that really clear. It's not, there's no tuition. They do wear uniforms, but again, they're able to be creative and do those things with the schools because of the level of creativity they can have. Each school is chartered for a different mission. So you have a school like Western New York Maritime for people who are interested in the naval sciences, and then you've got the charter school for applied technology. You got the charter school for science and the Buffalo Academy of Science. So each school has their own different thing. So it's a real opportunity for you to come in. It's from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. tomorrow. You don't have to stay the whole time. Just pop into each one of the rooms.
So you can just pop in, and the person will be constantly talking about the school?
Yes.
And answering questions. Now, you're going to have to spell out this app that you have to download.
Okay.
Because I've never heard of it.
Well, it's called Hoover. It's WHOVA.
Okay.
WHOVA. But when you go on our website, enrollbuffalocharters.org, it'll take you, you just register.
Just go to
enrollbuffalocharters.org.
And their Enroll Buffalo Charter is posting their links on the comments if you're watching on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Oh, they're on.
Yeah.
Somebody's on right
Kayla,
now.
that's
if
our
you're on
director of
Facebook,
communications,
you can go to our
Kayla.
Facebook.
Yeah.
And Enroll Buffalo Charters is on. Now, I'm going to say this. Every charter is not a great school. Now, let me say this.
Yeah.
Every Buffalo public school is not a great school. Every private school is not a great school. This is what I tell parents. Get involved.
Absolutely.
Get involved, because somebody will say, I ain't going to charters because they had a bad experience, right? And I've had great experiences, and I've had some rough experiences. What I haven't been is silent. And that's in charter or public school.
Yes.
Or when I
From
had
two
kids
people
in
who served
private.
on the school board.
Yes, exactly. You got to get involved. And one of the things that I see that, and I know I'm moving in a different direction, but we're talking about school and education, and we'll get back to some of these other topics. One of the things that sometimes I know teachers don't like when I call, but I do, and I have recently. And because, as I told the teacher, I'm the advocate for my child, but I'm not calling to attack you. I'm calling because I need to understand the situation.
We need to work together.
Yes. So one of them wasn't that thrilled about me calling and wanted to tell me basically why the child was wrong. And I'm like, I'm not saying the child is right or wrong. I need to understand. And it's all about, for me right now, one of the frustrations is the remote learning. And and just trying to navigate that whole process.
Talking about Zoom, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now imagine you've got two children remote learning. This is for some of y'all parents who may have the same frustration. It's two children learn in the same room, and you got to work, and you're trying to watch over them. I don't hover over them, because if they had to go to school every day, they would have to be responsible.
On their own.
But when you got computer issues, when it's freezing and the teacher's telling you, oh, you turned it off on purpose, and you're the parent sitting there watching it happen, and you go, no, they didn't, and yeah, it's kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
Or when there's space issues. We have a large enough house that the kids can be in different places, but the internet doesn't work all over the house.
Yeah.
So you can't go to the farthest part of the house. So that means they have to be in close. It's a lot. It's just a lot.
It's a lot.
This is for every frustrated parent out there right now. I'm giving up the frustration for us all because then we have the extenders on the internet, and then who was an ADT comes in and redoes my whole system for some reason, and nothing is working now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there are these frustrations, but you have to be involved.
And you know what? And I looked at it from the other side. We have these visits that we have with schools sometimes, and one of the schools, actually, Mrs. Wingle was there, Persistence Prep. We were able to look into some of the classrooms, and God bless the teachers, because I viewed a kindergarten class and a first grade class, and I don't know how they do it. They had the
Because they have people remote and
remote. They have both, and so the teachers are trying to teach to the kids, and you know, they were really trying to engage the kids, and they said, let me see the college hands, because each room in their school is named for a college or something, and let me see the college, so to know that the kids are interacting, and then they do these little things, and then the teachers she said, well, Rihanna, could you put that toy down? And so Rihanna, you know, she says, oh, okay, and then she says, Rihanna, you know, let's put the toy down and let's get engaged. And Rihanna put the toy down, put herself on mute, and started to curse the teacher out. You know, but you could, you couldn't, but you could see what Rihanna was doing. Yeah, and that's not her name.
Right,
but
absolutely.
you know, but and one kid was laying in the bed, another one didn't have a shirt on. You know.
Yeah, I walk through the house and the kids are sitting there with a hoodie. I'm like, take your hoodie off.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta be like you're in class. So it's tough.
It
like
is.
I think that this year, I'm praying for our children, working with our children. At the end of the day, I think that this year, and now we're in March.
Yeah, it's the end of the year.
It's about to be the end of the year, and so this is another year that
They've
many of the
lost.
children have missed in-person instruction.
And you know, we have to think about the kids too, because you talk about depression. These
Yeah,
kids are
oh, man.
depressed. Their social network is gone from them. So
yeah.
there's a lot of things that are going on with them, and sometimes as adults we don't get it. And
Yep.
what do you have to be depressed about? What's
Yep.
wrong with you?
Yep.
Like, get it together. But
You're right.
they're missing all those things.
You know, we just met here at the church to, in some way, get our youth and children programs back up running. Because it has been, you know, I have a 13-year-old now who has never, now he's in the youth group, who's never been to a youth meeting now, who probably, you know, only knows the kids who were at True Bethel a year ago. And those type of things are so important to their socialization. Now, if it was me, because, you know, I'm an older kid, I could have stayed at home for every day. I could have probably been homeschooled and be okay, because I tell people all the time, I'm not social. So to be at home, I would have loved it. I've got one at home who loves, listen, he ain't been in trouble all year. We get a call on this one every other week. We ain't got one call. Matter of fact, he's all participating this morning. Oh, giving the answers, clicking on. And then I have one who's in the 8th grade, and he wants to be at school. He, you know, it's his 8th grade year. Next year, you're going to be a freshman,
In
so
high
you
school.
low man on the totem pole again. And so your year where you get to be the
Big
8th
man on
grader
campus.
is gone.
Done.
And, you know, I can't, again, I'm not judging the decisions of school board. I'm not on the school board. I'm not a part of the school system, but I did encourage, as soon as they could get, and still do, children back in the classroom. And I know you're here on charter schools, but that's a public school.
Yeah.
To get them back in the classroom, especially for those who want to.
Yeah.
Because that's so important.
Yeah.
So they can go to Enroll Buffalo Charters.
.org.
And Tashelle is on, who's a teacher, and she says it's rough. Duncan Kirkwood sounds great. Enroll Buffalo Charters, and on there it's going to have a link, or you register.
Where you link,
Right, first.
When you go to Enroll Buffalo Charters, it'll automatically pop up the charter school fair, and you'll be able to register for the charter school fair, come in tomorrow, see all the schools, and then when you're ready to submit your application, you submit your application.
But when you get on tomorrow, and folks need to know this, you don't have to register for a school.
No,
You don't have to try.
No,
you
you're
can
coming to
just
find
see.
information.
Yes.
It's about choices and what's going to work for you and your family. You know, I often say, you know, my son started his high school career out at Buffalo Academy of Science, and I had a friend, Vicki Gillison, who works there, and we thought, and it was close downtown to our house. We thought it was going to be a good fit for him. It wasn't a good fit for him. Not that the school did anything
Right.
wrong. It just didn't work for him.
Yep.
And again, you know, sometimes you have to listen to your children
Yep.
and find out what works for them. So he ended up going to Tapestry and graduated from Tapestry, which was a much better fit for him because they had basketball and his friends were there. So it just depends on, you know, what works
And
for
you could get sleep at night. And you didn't get calls all day. I appreciate you putting it that way. It wasn't a good fit for him.
It wasn't, yeah.
And
Yeah.
my kid has been in a school that definitely wasn't a good fit
Yes.
for him. And now, I don't know, this at-home instruction has been a good fit for him. It ain't been a good fit for us.
Yeah.
But it's been a good fit for him.
Yeah.
And now I think, you know, they're just getting into, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And you got to perform regardless.
Absolutely.
You got to perform.
Yeah.
I'm okay with online learning. I'm allegedly going. I ain't gonna say that. I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna take a couple classes come in a little while for something, and I'm thrilled that I don't have to go into a classroom. that I could be right in my living room and click and get in my assignments.
Yeah.
When I started my master's degree, I started with an online school, and it was working for me. And the only reason I didn't continue, it wasn't where some people say they needed that classroom experience. I didn't need it. I really didn't. I was concerned about the accreditation and reputation of the school. And I was like, listen, I'm not paying all of this money. And when I get done, it's like, oh, you gotta, I ain't gonna say the school because people are enrolled in it now. But I was, you know, if I need employment somewhere, I want to do something else in my life, that they go, oh, you got this Band-Aid
You know, clown school.
degree. Yeah, like, nah. So I went to an in-person school, Madai, of course, which I'm on the board of trustees. But that was a better fit for me then. When I was in, and I'm bringing this up because parents have to understand sometimes certain schools are not a great fit.
Yeah.
I went to private school most of my life, but the fit that I wanted at high school, I begged to go to Bennett. When I tell you I begged, and my parents finally, I was so happy. You do not know. When that first day, like some people talk about like these bad experiences, that first day, and I went to school, you had to have prayer before every class. You did the Pledge of Allegiance in the morning, which we still did at Bennett. But it was prayer, and it was a good, I'm thankful to God that I had both of these worlds in my life. But when I got on that bus, I ain't gonna tell y'all no story. I think because I've been so sheltered for so long that when I got on, I shouldn't say this, and people was kind of like wilding out. I was like, whoa, I'm free. Here's a bad word from me. But I ended up doing very well as far as, well, I just got my college transcripts. Do you know they made me get college? I have a master's degree, and I still had to get my high school transcripts to take this class.
Wow.
Yes, but. So I wasn't like the star student. I did
say,
look at my transcripts.
I don't want to
like,
see mine from high school or probably college.
No,
I graduated though.
From somebody who taught Spanish in the Buffalo Public Schools, I ain't even gonna tell y'all what my Spanish grade was. Ay, muy malo, mami, muy malo. It was not good. It was not good. But I had to find that fit.
Yeah.
All right, so we've talked about charter schools. We've talked about that. Wow, we only got 15 minutes left. We've talked about AMR, talked about, what y'all call him? Uncle Kurt? Is that what they call him? This is your cousin Kurt. Isn't it what
Cousin Kurt.
This is your cousin Kurt. The last thing I wanted to talk about is a very, very, very serious issue. And over the last few months, I have personally been involved with so many people whose family members are utilizing drugs. They're not out buying cocaine, which it doesn't make it any better. We grew up in eras where people took pills. Let's be honest. Where you had a family member or a friend who had a pain pill, you get that pain pill from. Like, I'm totally against that. I don't care how bad I'm hurting, and I very rarely take medicine because every medicine makes me sleepy. If I take Tylenol, I need to take a nap, right? So I don't really mess around with medicine. What I do not do, and that I don't want in my house, I don't want anybody else's prescription in my house. I don't want I don't take it. I don't advocate for it. You hurting, you can go over to community health center if you don't have a doctor. You can go, you can do a lot of things. Now, I do agree that there is a portion of the healthcare industry that does not trust African Americans' ailments. It's been studied.
Oh, absolutely.
I just talked to someone whose son was in need of medical attention, took them for the medical attention, and it was like he was playing or something. And then something got worse. But he identified where the problem was. And there was a feeling from the parent that the doctor just felt the son wanted drugs. And he did not. He wanted help. So I get that. But self-medicating and trying to figure out, even if it's you're going through stress and you know somebody who's got some pills, folks, do not take them, even if they come from the pharmacy. But what is more pressing right now is that there are some people out in these streets right now that have pills that are laced with fentanyl. And they showed last night how easy this machine is. That, I mean, come on, if you're making tens of thousands of dollars in the illegal drug trade, you can go buy this machine for $400, $500. It presses you can break the pill down, press it back together, coat it, and put the fentanyl in it. And it of course, then they're able to move more product.
Wow.
It is killing our people. The mixing even of legal pills that are not prescribed for you or prescribed for you and using them in the wrong manner is taking people out every day. I've been talking to my friends in the funeral industry every week. They're burying young people. This is young people.
And people think it's not in our community. They think it's
It
out
definitely-
there.
Right.
It's in our community.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Heavy. There was a point when it was out in other communities and it wasn't so much in ours. You know, people in our community allegedly would just, I shouldn't say just, but they might do marijuana. I don't know what else is out there. What lean I heard about, right? What is that? Cough syrup and something else mixed with.
Yes,
Huh?
it's like cough syrups with Sprite and normally something else.
Like a pill in it? Or alcohol?
It could be a few different things.
Wow.
I mean, what do you mean? I mean, I want to put it out there for
Yeah,
people
no,
to know.
like it could strengthen it, right? Like, so it could be a pill. It could be alcohol. It's whatever kind of. Yeah,
Codeine?
Oh, codeine.
So
Oh,
putting
okay.
codeine in the, and that
With
then
the
gets
cough syrup?
so parents, if you seeing cough syrup in your house with your teen and you know they don't have a cold, I mean, what kid is going out there to buy cough syrup or the bottles? So that was big at one time, but now I've never seen as many people who are going to the ER and who are passing, who are not getting to the ER on time. And this. Oh wow, yeah. Carolyn Lane said, "See, we got people on cough syrup and codeine. That's what cough syrup and codeine. This is so important for us to talk about and be aware about. But here is what I want to tell you. Many people are going through things where they are looking for ways to deal with what they are going through. You all know I just said it. I'm not a judge. I don't go around saying, yeah, you know, one of the African presidents who didn't believe that there was actually COVID has died yesterday or the day before yesterday. He died. Now they say he died from a heart attack, allegedly. End of the day. Where there is sickness, you got to get help. And I know we hate counseling. We just don't do it by and large. If you don't have a counselor, and I get it. I mean, let's be honest. Am I going right now to a counselor on Main Street? Probably not. Because HIPAA don't help that much. And somebody gonna call somebody and tell somebody else, and I'm gonna be worse, right? But we in a time right now where there's online counseling, where there are other ways of being able to talk. But if you don't seek professional help, at least talk to someone you trust.
Yeah.
About your feelings, about what you're going through. I have this outlet called TV. I have this outlet called radio. I have an outlet. People don't realize I say what I feel often, and say about it. And I'm not going to hold it in, and I'm not going to pretend that you can. Y'all deep folk don't get mad, but I'm not going to pretend. Just pray about it. You can pray it away, because I think in some ways we have put everything in prayer, and not realize that God gave us relationships for purposes, and that there will be people in your life where you're able to say, I'm frustrated. I asked somebody yesterday, how you doing? And the first thing they said was fine. And then they turned around and said,
I'm actually not. Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And I didn't pursue it until they want to pursue it. At times, instead of acting like you're okay, I think it's okay, and some of you all out there who are medical or mental health professionals, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's all right to say, I'm not okay today.
Yeah.
I'm just having, I don't want to do today. I don't want to talk today. I don't want to interact today. I don't want to be bothered today. What?
I'm actually going to say that was my personal testimony, I think on Tuesday.
We know. Your staff knew. You left out and they were like, is he all right? And
I just
notice I didn't pursue it.
Yeah.
Because you've been around me. I didn't realize how long you've been around me. I saw a picture of us. It's been a long time. You being around me and, Rashawn and others, I have days.
Absolutely.
And I don't apologize for those days unless I've hurt somebody. If I did something, but if I just went into me, I don't want to apologize that I went into me, that I went into my shell for a minute, that I didn't want to discuss something, and that I want to do whatever I want to do. And so when I see people like that, I don't pursue it. I don't go, what's wrong? If you haven't done nothing to me, you get to be quiet all day. So see.
So I sure did. I literally walked in the office. And that was why I was actually mad Monday when my computer had the blue screen of death, because I was like, I don't want to be around anybody. I just wanted to come in and just be in my office. Let me crank out what I need to do and leave. That's all I wanted. And so it carried over to Tuesday. And I just worked in my office with the door closed.
Yeah, you did. We're having this private moment in public, but I think it's okay because so this is the funny thing. So Mark usually has his door open. A lot of times he'll work in the same space, which he knows that took a while for me to be comfortable with.
It did.
I don't want nobody working in the same space with me. I have office. I want to be in my office by myself, and that's it. But it's sometimes easier to communicate if we're right next to each other. So he was in his office, and I was like, he must have left. He was in there with the door closed. But that's okay. Give people the space they need when they need it, and don't do is everything all right? If they tell you first of all, if you ask me, is everything all right? I'm gonna tell you. At this point, I'm gonna say, just having a moment. And it doesn't mean it's gonna last, but it also means I don't want to hold it all in, forever. Veronica is on it today. Is that Veronica? That's Veronica Gold, right? Yes. There are a range of emotions one can feel, and that's okay. How would you know you were truly happy if you never felt sad?
That's good.
Come on, Veronica, bring that knowledge. Bishop Frederick Gelsey, my neighbor, says, Doc, just as you educate about different drugs, the different homicide music and homicide video games is just as bad. Need to educate parents. It's real. The music push and drugs also. Yeah, I mean, there's so much out there that we need to be educated on. But I am, and thank you, Bishop Gelsey. I really, my heart is going out to so many families, and especially, and even past, like he said, educating. This mental health issue is getting worse, especially with the pandemic.
Yeah, and the young people who are, committing suicide,
Yeah.
from being depressed,
Yeah.
and again, not being amongst their peers and not being able to do their activities, it's real, and we often dismiss it, and like you said, we don't like counseling, we don't want to go to counseling, but label it something else and do it.
Yeah. Janique, and you're an officer here, and you kind of know my personality when it comes to people, and to come to church here, you have to register on a Sunday, right? But I don't think we better not that I know of, have ever turned anybody away, even if they didn't register. And I'll tell you why. You don't know what a person is going through. And if this is the only place, if they decide, I'm really going through something now, I need to be in the presence of other people. I might not be able to get you right in the sanctuary right away, but I'll get you in the presence. And that to me is so important, because you could be up today and just way down tomorrow.
It's not even tomorrow. You
The
can talk
next
about an
minute.
hour,
Bruh.
like the next 30
Bruh.
minutes, next 10 minutes.
Bruh,
Like, it could
it's
change
real.
like that.
It's real. For real, it's real. And I just want people out there to know that, there's some people who really do care and who understand. That's what I should say. Because you can tell somebody that you don't know, I care about you. And in their head, they're like, you don't even know me, bro. You have no idea who I am. But who understand, and who are not judgmental, and who are not going to go blast your business all over Buffalo, and who really understand what it feels like to hit rock bottoms. And it doesn't mean you're going to hit rock bottom one day and never, ever hit it again. But my prayer and hope and encouragement is that you don't stay down as long as you did before.
Right.
Because you realize the sun comes back out again, sooner or later.
Yeah.
And you start to concentrate more on the positive than the negative.
Yeah.
And that's a process.
And for people
man.
who serve, people always say, you do so much, but you don't ever want to be in a position where you weren't able to help somebody.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people who answers my phone when it is a private number, because for me, I don't know who it is, and it could be an emergency. So I do answer private calls, and if it's not,
Wow.
I hang up, but I will, because I don't ever want to be in a position where somebody says, I called you and you weren't there for me.
Yeah.
So, which is not the greatest thing, for my husband and my family sometimes.
I'm sure.
But,
My phone is on Do Not Disturb right now as we speak.
I know.
Well, you tried to call me, and I do that on purpose for my own mental. And I think because, like you give out your private number. I
don't give out my private number.
Oh.
If you have my private number.
Yeah,
But
I
I'm saying
don't.
I answer private
She
calls.
didn't answer my call the other day. No,
Yeah, I don't give out my private number. And for the record, if I gave you my private number, don't give it out.
Please.
That's rude. Don't give out don't say to somebody, oh, I have his number. And don't call, I'm sorry, I'm on my tangent. Don't call me with somebody else on the phone and I answer because your number showed up and you go, I got such and such on the phone.
No.
Because I'm 56, I'll hang up.
Sure will.
And won't I do it? Won't I do it?
Won't he do it?
I will hang up
he
the
do it?
phone because it's unfair to my
trying to
personal
tell
space and time. I got 2 minutes. So my point is, I take those times for me.
Yeah.
And I don't apologize, and I'm not going to. And you all out there shouldn't either. But get the help you need if you need it. Watch these drugs. You can go for the private school. Eva Doyle had a great birthday party the other day. She's thanking us
Oh, her drive-thru.
online. 75, yeah. I had the electric car out there and put up the wings on it and played Happy Birthday. I had fun with it. So happy birthday, Queen. You can go to enrollbuffalocharters.org, right? Yep. .org.
Yes.
And register and then get on during the day and hear about different charter schools. I think that's wonderful. Good job. Are you working with them now?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Hobson's, the Dr. Dry Cleaning, 874 East Delavan Avenue. We'll see if Michael is listening because Michael Lewis, my shirt should be ready. He picks them up for me and takes them. When you pick up the shirts, I got some suits for you. To take over the 874 East Delavan, and of course, Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes. And Brian has been concerned about the overdoses and about the fentanyl on the street. Of course, he handles a lot of these cases. But as he said, he doesn't want to have to handle these.
Yeah.
He does not want to have to come and get your loved one who has passed on from something that didn't have to happen. In your time of need, Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home, 347 Peckham, 2528 Bailey, 1275 Sycamore. This week alone, he served the Bryce family and the Ross family.
yes,
Now, I saw, and I called Brian last night, the Bryce family, I don't know what the situation was, but he accommodated their desire, it seems as if, and he didn't tell me this, but it was on social media by one of the Bryce members. He did the Bryce funeral, or a portion of it, outside of the house.
I went to the church yesterday.
Okay,
I
so
don't know
something
about that, but
happened
something-
outside
yeah.
of the house. I don't know whether it was committal, but that's how he will accommodate a family.
Yeah.
Whatever their desires and wishes are, if he can legally do it.
Right.
Brian does it. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home in your hour of need. Well, folks, I'm out of
Before
time.
we go off, there's plenty of food at our food pantry. It's
Oh,
open till
food
while
pantry is open.
Yep.
Food pantry is open till what time?
until supplies last, but until 2 o'clock.
Till 2 o'clock. You can drive through, get the food. If you don't need it and you know somebody who needs it, come and get it. We're still feeding people in this pandemic. Until then, power to the people.
Power to the people.